Hey, what's up? It's me, your girl E, coming to you today for Saturday writing session. We are talking about writing a mystery. This is now the first Saturday in June. Happy June, everyone. June is a big month for me. I love the month of June. Father's Day is in June. Juneteenth is in June. So I love the month of June. All right. So Saturday writing session, we are going to be talking about writing a mystery. Okay. This is something that I never really did. I um, I used to read the mystery thrillers such as John Grisham's and James Patterson's, but then later on um, in through my years, I got into more of the classic literature such as Jane Austen, um, F. Scott Fitzgerald, Ernest Hemingway, James Baldwin, of course, Toni Morrison. Said it before. Love me some Toni Morrison. But I have been very intrigued. Maybe about a month ago, it's June, so maybe late April, early May, I dreamt that I met John Grisham. I was like, oh my gosh, I'd read all of your books, and I was always intrigued on getting back into my Grisham. And I was asking him, which one should you suggest I read first again? And of course, he told me to read, I think, The Firm, or the first one that he wrote. Just go back to the beginning, right? John Grisham, I had even, I follow him on social media on Instagram, and he said that he starts January 1st writing his book, and he's done by June, July. And then that begins the process of the writing, the editing, and stuff like that. I thought it was very intriguing how he has I won't say a ritual, but a routine. All right. Be sure to like and subscribe, and please share so we could get this writing content up. We all know that writing writing is, what's the word I want to use? Writing is a process, right? I've said it time and time again. The first step to writing is to write. The second step is to rewrite. And just because you've written your book does not mean you are finished. You need to go over it. You need to do the editing. You need to do the content editing. So it's very, very important that you really, really focus on that. And when it comes to writing a mystery, it's not as easy as it thinks. The research that I did, looking online on people that knew how to write mysteries, it was very mind-boggling on the information that I've learned. I was like, okay, now I may try it if I feel led to, if I'm intrigued to. But one of the things that you have to do when you're writing a mystery is you have to know mysteries. You have to be a mystery writer. You cannot write a mystery if you are someone who doesn't watch mystery television shows, movies, or read the mystery books, because you're going to be horrible, horrible, horrible at it. So we got some tips, of course, got some notes. So let's get into it. All right. Mystery, they can be very appealing. We already know. They appeal to the need to survive by figuring out the puzzles, the problems, and sometimes the crimes that affect our lives or those of the characters we care about. If you're somebody that's into solving something, puzzles, then mysteries may be your thing. That was never me, but you already think about it. Even when we hear of course, the latest scandals, conspiracy theories, stuff like that, we always try to put the pieces together. I mean, we talk about it. We have our own theory, our own thought process. I'm like, I think that's what happened. So these is the intrigue with writing a mystery. The best preparation for you to have for writing a mystery is you have to be a mystery writer. I'm a firm believer. This is fact, 110% fact. You have to write what you know. Write what you know. If you know Family Chaos, write Family Chaos. The past 3 weeks, don't judge me, I've been binge watching The Nanny, right? Yes, The Nanny. I love The Nanny. She's crazy. And I Googled Fran Drescher. I Googled her, and it's basically her life, her mother, her father, her life growing up in Flushing, Queens. Not her life being a nanny, but just her life in the Jewish culture. And then she and her then husband came up with this idea of this swabby, kind of loud, abrasive woman being a nanny to a very socially refined, very upper class family, which we all know the premise of the story of the TV series. So she and her husband wrote what they know. Okay, you have to write what you know. One another great TV shows I like to watch is Abbott Elementary, right? So if you guys have not watched Abbott Elementary, you are totally missing out. It is a really, really, really great show. Um, the producer and the writer, one of the writers is Quinta Bronson. She was definitely inspired by her mother's story as a teacher, especially in the public school system. And a lot of the storylines deals with the public school system, the poor funding, the poor quality of the school, not having enough resources, and really the teachers really caring about the children. And because it's in elementary school, it deals with the formative years of the children. So she's writing what you know. The genres that I write about relationships, love, sister and brother, and husbands and wife, and family members, you know what I mean, life, whatever. I write what I know. Okay. So before you even tap into writing a mystery, write what you know. Don't think because you might have watched 1 or 2 episodes of Law and Order and you guessed who the killer was. No, you have to be somebody that is engulfed in the mindset of a mystery. All right. You want to understand the conventions of the mystery genre. You have to know what makes a mystery a mystery. Author Dean Wesley Smith, one of the most prolific mystery writers of our day, defines a mystery as a story that involves a crime or puzzle that has to be solved. And it must be solved by the end of the story. Okay. So you have so many pages to get this mystery solved. All right. Now, of course, we have the sequels and stuff like that. The Alex Cross series is a type of sequel. I think his name was Tsunaji, the bad guy that Alex Cross was looking for in the series of James Patterson. So, I mean, you could have something like that. But it was also with James Patterson and Alex Cross series there was also other crimes involved that he needed to solve. And there was this one notorious killer that was in the background that was always watching and kind of kept Alex Cross on his toes. All right. You do not want to ignore this this convention, what Dean Wesley Smith is saying, because you will really, really, really tick off your readers, because your readers are going to know because they are mystery readers. Okay. Another good series I've watched was High Potential. It has 2 seasons so far. I believe it's being worked on for the 3rd. Really great. And it's extremely detail oriented because the character Morgan, she's like a genius, and she can pick up little details to help solve the crimes. Okay. And when I've watched it, it was definitely a learning experience because it was the details. For example, there was one crime where one of the suspects was considered to have OCD, right? Very meticulous and organized. So the reason why, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the reason why she wasn't considered because of her attention to detail, because if you looked at the crime scene, one of the curtains wasn't tied, like a nice little, little thing, right? But the other curtain was. Somebody whose attention to detail, little OCD, got to be neat, will make sure everything is done. The curtain, the carpet, the rugs, everything is properly in its place. So she was, you get what I'm saying? Now, I'm just watching it to see, like, okay, who did it? But when the character Morgan pointed that out, and then I even rewinded it back to see that, I was like, wow, pay attention. Okay. So your readers will know when you're faking it because you don't know what you're talking about. All right. So this is one thing you need to understand: the reader's expectations. Okay. People who read mysteries like to solve puzzles. They're already someone who likes puzzle games and mind games. All right. And they anticipate a resolution at the end. So this is what they are expecting. Okay. This is what is required. The reader's expectation can go beyond that. Readers want to identify with the hero. Remember, the protagonist. They have to be identifiable. We talked about that with character development. They need to identify to experience the thrill of the hunt and a satisfaction of seeing the perpetrator punished. Okay. With character development, your readers definitely need to connect with your protagonist in I'm not gonna say in every aspect, but they need to connect, because when your protagonist is getting close to solving the problem, solving the mystery, your readers are like, okay, we because now they want to identify it and make it seem as if they're actually solving the crime. We're almost we almost got it. We're getting there. They have to be identifiable. All right. Fulfilling readers' expectation is a paramount importance in writing a novel in any genre. Okay. But it is crucial to a mystery writing. All right, remember, um, you have to fill the reader's expectation, right? Your readers have to be satisfied with the overall the book. Again, your protagonist has to grow. There has to be some growth. No, not some. There has to be growth. There has to be. It is absolutely mandatory, because it is your job as to writer to fulfill the need for the reader. Okay. Um, and it's mandatory, 110% mandatory, a must, a big must to do this when writing a mystery. The mystery genre attracts a massive following, accounting for roughly 33% of fiction sales in English language. So a lot of the mystery sales, it's a must. All right. So let's tap into the types of mysteries. Okay. So this is something that you may need to consider, because maybe you're not a hardcore mystery writer, but you might have some issues. I'm going to say issues, but you might have some things along the way that needs problem solving. Many subgenres nestle under the mystery umbrella, and different writers are suited to different types of mysteries. The first one is cozy mysteries. Cozy up, kind of up. They require a great deal of setting and character description, maintaining a slow pace while keeping it interesting. Cozies are gentle, characterized by bloodless crime, often featuring a victim with a few emotional ties to any of the characters, and the violence takes place offstage. Cozy writers must be able to produce upwards of 60,000 words without a lot of action and still making it engaging. Focus is on the amateur detective and the community rather than the crime. So it's kind of basic. Okay, basic. And honestly, just think about it, because it's really more of a character development, maybe solving, I won't say a common crime, but maybe not a high profile crime. Okay. And it's kind of, it's not bloodless. Like, you don't see a lot of gore. You're not going to see a lot of mess in graphic stuff. Okay. Police protocols. No, police procedures is the second point. Police procedurals, I'm saying it right, as well as medical and legal mysteries, require extensive specialized knowledge. These are suited for professionals in these fields, detailed oriented writers who love the nitty gritty of procedures. Readers will chew you up and spit you out if you get this wrong, as I said before. A mystery reader will be able to tell if you're faking it. All right. And a light research is not enough to get you. You just can't skim, say, a paragraph. You got to really do your intensive research. A Time to Kill, John Grisham's first book, he was inspired by a situation in news where a young girl was raped by some white men and they was on trial. So he researched this story, and that's how he was inspired by it. And he's extremely detailed with his work. And also, it's a legal thriller. And also, you understand that he was once a lawyer, so he knows his legal jargon. Okay. This type of writer shall also be good at building teams for their characters, as much of the clue gathering and analysis will fall to a group, with each member contributing to the solution of the crime. So, just like the TV series I just mentioned, High Potential, we got Morgan, that was the main character. We got Adam, another detective. They're partners. There is Oz, another character, and Daphne. And then their boss, I forget what her name was. These are the 5 cast members solving the crime. They each play a part. So it's a team. They each play a part of solving the crime. Okay. Some might do the research. Some might actually go into the crime scene, and then one will give the orders and really sit down, look at it. Whenever I'm watching High Potential and they're just drinking coffee all day, it's that. You know what I mean? You really got to set the scene, and of course, the character development is primal. So that's it for the day, because we got a lot to go over for the month of June. Okay, it's a beautiful day outside in the city of Pittsburgh. Finally, I think we got a whole week. It was warm. It was very hot, but beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Enjoy your Saturday.